All right, so let's get into the details. Oh God, that is terrifying. All right, today we're gonna be looking at Gizmo from the Gremlins. Now, I know I'm a little late to the game on this one, but he looks so cute, we just had to give it a shot. So we're gonna do an overview, details, articulation, and posing. Let's get into it. All right, so here we go with Gizmo from the Gremlins. Look at that guy, just the cutest. So here we go, we got some nice toy photography here on the cover, obviously across the back of it as well. Some really nice shots, nice lighting. I mean, whoever's doing this photography is, you know, pretty skilled. So side of the box, it's the same on both sides. We got the top of the box, the bottom of the box, of course, which has a couple of key features pointed out here, that there is a notch on the back of his head that you can use to move his eyes. And then, of course, the respect to everybody involved in the figure itself and the packaging. So let's open it up and see what we got. And the sleeve on this one is just a shot from the bedroom where he lives in the attic. There's the stairway. So unique to this package, he doesn't have anything like any ties at all holding him in. It's just a couple pieces of tape holding a plastic cover on the front. Not too bad. Now, one thing to notice is that he's got some props that are from the second movie. So even though the front of the cover kind of looks like it's just from the first movie, but you have movie 1 props and movie 2 props. So this is gonna be pretty easy to get out. So obviously he's pretty small, so we'll look at an overview of what we got here. So obviously you have the figure itself, the little tab here to remove to allow his eyes to move. We've got this Santa Claus hat, the trumpet, candy cane, and his weapon, which was a makeshift arrow that explodes. And this fell out. I forgot, his actual bow. It fell out of the box. So we got that. We have some alternative faces and the one with the headband from the second movie. All right, so let's get into the details of Gizmo. So look at this guy. He's, you know, they've done a nice job of making it look like fur, despite the fact that it's clearly plastic. I wonder if there was any possibility of having a figure this size, but actually having, you know, like fur. Oh God, that is terrifying. Wow, okay. His face. Let's get rid of that. I think it would have been ideal to have this as a fur. It looks really good in the details here. I think it's a very nice. His eyes obviously sit a little bit back in his head because of the fact that you can change his face, but you know, they have the full-size plush, which is like a, I guess, a 1-to-1 scale, and the face on that one just doesn't look anything like him. Like the fur is really nice, but then the plastic around this and the ears and stuff, it looks very cheap. I would love to have a combination of this detail in the face but have the fur. So the bottom of his feet, there's a couple things like stamped in there, but there's no way to, you know, use a stand with him. So I imagine because of his size, it's not gonna really be a problem. Obviously articulation right off the bat, you can tell is not gonna be great, but we'll get into that next. But details, yeah, not a whole lot to go over. His eyes are a little wonky. And I believe I saw online that there is a way to fix these eyes because they don't seem to be looking in. He looks more like the goofy one from the second movie. So yeah, that's certainly a problem. I'll have to look into how to fix that. But let's look at the other pieces. So the Santa hat, it's just a hard plastic. It's not, there's no soft part to it at all. So it's just pre-molded, but it looks really nice. The textures are certainly there. We have the trumpet, which of course is just supposed to be a toy trumpet anyway, but kind of lacks any real detail. This is just a piece of plastic with gold paint. So his makeshift weapon here, which is obviously a pencil, as you can see. So look at that, you get his little pencil in his bottle that he lights on fire to kill the spider gremlin from the second movie. We have the candy cane, which, you know, I guess you can't expect a whole lot of detail out of this, but it does seem like a kind of a really lacking quality on the paint job here and on the, look at that, on the inside of it. I mean, it's a cheap piece and it feels that way. His bow is just like super flimsy, so not even as hard as like a real paperclip, which he uses in the movie to make his bow. So it's almost like just make your own. Get the larger paper clips and like a rubber band or whatever you use, and just make your own, because this is kind of the cheapest part of the whole thing. The alternative faces, so just this sad, grumpy, kind of scared face. You have his happy face and his ready for war, because if you want to fight war, you gotta become war. So let's get into some articulation here. What we see, obviously you get a bonus if you want to consider his eyes, his little kind of goofy eyeballs looking around. I mean, it's kind of cute. It's it's really unfortunate that they don't work together at the same time, but the idea is cute. The execution's poor, but the head, so you can spin it all the way around, that's nice. As far as up and down, really not much at all. You get a little bit down and really nothing up. You just get a straight forward and a little bit down. Can't really get much on the head tilt, just a few degrees. His arms, I mean, they rotate at the shoulder and where the color changes here. So you're technically getting a second rotation in the elbow, and then you get the full rotation of the arm. Let's say we wanted to do his arms straight up. That's it, you can't. They just go like this. So not great articulation on the arms. That's kind of really sad. His hands, I guess you can get, okay. So his hands turn all the way around. So you have 1, 2, 3 spinning joints, and then you have really dislocated shoulders. Right, obviously nothing in the body as far as rotation goes. His ears don't, oh, his ears do move. So his ears can rotate around into weird shapes. A little bit of something in there to change his expressions a little bit. When he's happy and sad and scared, you can move those around. His legs, you can rotate his legs, and that's it. They're pretty tight. And it's not a joint issue like that needs to be warmed up. It's just a lot of hard plastic hitting hard plastic. His feet do not move at all. So you get some legs, barely arms, the head, okay. So articulation's awful, but he's cute. So while he doesn't obviously have different heads to replace, he's got the different faces, which now you go into terrifying mode, you can get into this kind of happy, open mouth expression with his goofy eyeballs. Oh my gosh. You gotta get him into position and then just leave them there. His sad face. Which, fun fact, he was voiced by Howie Mandel in both movies, which is super cool, but there's a signature edition of this where you can get the autograph inside the box of Howie Mandel, which is pretty cool. But of course, the last face here, which really kind of have to mess around with this one a little bit because of the headband, but it's attached here in the corner, but loose otherwise. So can we get that? Well, I mean, that's how they have it set on the box. So you might want to do something, heat this thing up maybe, and then like hold it there until it cools down. But it just doesn't hold onto his head properly. So it's leaves something to be desired, but he's definitely not a figure you can do a lot with. So I guess this is where we get into, I guess this is where we get into posing, and it's not gonna be great. All right, so that's Gizmo from the Gremlins. I mean, what's he got going for him? He's cute. Nothing seems to work. He's got articulation that doesn't want to do anything. His eyes are so deep set and they don't function correctly, like together. He can't hold any of his weapons or anything because his hands, they just are. So when it comes to details, I mean, it's not awful. They've done well for what they have, but I think, you know, like a fur would have been better. The eyes really just are unsettling because they don't work properly. So I'm gonna give him, let's go with a 3 out of 5 on details. Now his articulation is pretty much just the worst of the worst. So articulation, you can't sit him down, which I would love to have Gizmo in a sitting pose. You cannot do that. So Gizmo gets a 1 out of 5 on articulation. So that brings us to posing, which of course isn't gonna be great because none of the articulation was good. So his posing, we're gonna get a 1 out of 5. So all in all, I mean, he's a good looking figure, but oh God, does his cuteness, does it make up for it? I don't think that it does. Okay, well there he is. Gizmo, I mean, he's an absolute piece of I think he's super cute, but the figure is kind of a waste of money, even especially probably if you get the Howie Mandel autograph version. There's just nothing in there that makes the figure worth it, in my opinion. But, you know, there's the score, the overall rating. Let me know your thoughts on this figure. Is it something you own, or is it just a statue piece that maybe is best left in the stores? If you enjoyed this review, check out this one. We'll see you next time.